Khamzat Chimaev has become one of the most talked about fighters in the UFC, but his long gaps between fights have left fans frustrated. His last fight was in October at UFC 308, where he dominated Robert Whittaker and secured a first-round finish. Since then, there has been no news about his next fight, which has raised questions about his future. Unlike other top fighters who stay active with frequent matchups, Chimaev has only been competing once a year. This inconsistency has slowed down his momentum in the UFC and made it difficult for him to stay relevant in the title picture. The biggest challenge he faces is securing fights in the US. Reports suggest that Chimaev has been unable to obtain a US visa for the past 2 to 3 years, which significantly limited his fight opportunities. Because of these restrictions, Chimaev has only been competing in UFC events outside of the US. His last 2 fights took place in Abu Dhabi at UFC 308 and UFC 294, as those were among the few locations where he could fight. If this situation does not change, he may continue to only get fights in Abu Dhabi or other international locations. UFC President Dana White has shown reluctance in giving Chimaev a title shot, mainly due to his inconsistency and the logistical issues surrounding his fights. Additionally, UFC prefers fighters like Sean Strickland, who are more reliable and available for fights in the US. Chimaev has also had previous incidents, such as missing weight and pulling out of fights, which have made UFC hesitant to push him toward a championship opportunity. However, there's now speculation that with Donald Trump returning to power, UFC might try to seek his help in resolving Chimaev's visa issues, given Trump's strong relationship with Dana White. If Chimaev's visa issue gets resolved, fans can expect him to fight around June or July, possibly against a top contender like Dricus du Plessis. A win in such a matchup could put him directly in line for a title shot. However, if his visa remains a problem, then his next fight will likely happen at the UFC Abu Dhabi event in October. There is also a possibility that he could fight in UFC's upcoming event in Saudi Arabia, which would ensure he stays active even if he cannot compete in the US. The UFC will need to make a decision soon regarding his future, as prolonged inactivity could negatively impact. To remain a serious title contender, Chimaev must stay in the spotlight and fight more frequently. Fans are eager to see him compete, but his irregular schedule has made it difficult for him to build the momentum needed for a championship run. What do you think will happen next in Khamzat Chimaev's career? Will he finally resolve his US visa issues, or will he continue to fight only in international events? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on UFC and combat sports.